Happy Monday, friends. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Monday's Jumpstart. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us on Happy Paper People. And if you're watching on the replay, we do hope that some point you'll get a chance to join us live on our Monday Jumpstart. And if not, we hope you enjoy and hope you learn a couple of things and find something that you can use. So, how is everybody today? Let me go in and see who is here. I've got Miss Debbie Royer and Miss Candy Boyer, Royer and Boyer on the panel with me today. I
Hi,
never thought
ladies.
about that. Good morning, Gigi. Let's see here. Julie, good morning, Julie. Good morning, Margie. Making my dinner. Be here as soon as I can. Nice.
Sounds good.
Good morning, Lynn from Wisconsin, and welcome first time. Lynn, where in Wisconsin are you from? Margie, Filuke Family Feline, also known as Fifi, that is Margie. She is in Wisconsin. Hey, Glynis. Good morning, Dawn. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Gigi can't hear anything. Ginny is Gigi. Gigi, check your sound. Um, check your sound. Or was that right before we went live? Lynn, you will find that this is the nicest group of people you have ever met. If you haven't joined Happy Paper People on Facebook, please feel free to go join our Facebook group. There are 3 questions it will ask you. If you answer all 3, it will let you in automatically without having to wait to be admitted. That's the secret. Milwaukee, night. Oh, 3 inches of light fluffy snow.
Ugh, keep that snow
Brand
up there.
brand new snow, huh? Margie is in Stevens Point. Margie Lynn is in Milwaukee. I am so excited today. We've had some really fun lives. We've got some admin has been awesome. We've been getting together and making plans for this year, and we've got some great plans, guys. Some really great plans. And you see it on the Monday Jumpstart, the Tuesdays tips, the Thursdays mass make, and the Saturday night live. Um, each one is focusing on something, and I didn't print the new one. Did you do a new one? You did a new one. You did a new one, didn't you, Candy? Did you
Oh
print
yeah.
it? Did you
No,
print
I
it?
didn't. No, I didn't print it. It's.
Okay.
I uploaded it to the group though.
Oh, I did see that, and I didn't print it. I printed the other one and then I tossed it so that I wouldn't get them
Oh
mixed up.
yeah.
So I need to do that. So Monday's Jumpstart, Marianne's Monday Jumpstart. That is to get us going for the week, to get our creativity going. And we are focusing a lot on Mondays on using things that we have, that we've bought and paid for, sitting around taking up space that we're not using, that we don't know what to do with. Maybe you saw somebody use it and it was really cool and you thought, oh, that would be fun. And you've just never used it or don't know how to use it, or it's a little scary to try the first time. Or maybe it's something that you have one way of using, and we know that we don't have any craft supplies that there's only one way to use. So you need some new ideas, some additional ideas of how to use it. So those are the things we're focusing on Monday. Because 2022 is the year of what? One, getting organized, right? Getting organized, we focus on a lot on Tuesdays. Tuesdays tips in 10. That's 10 minutes or less. And Tuesday's tips are help us to get organized in different areas. 10 minutes try to present tons and tons of tips of different ways that different people do things, store, organize, use the things in their art room, craft room, studio, whatever you call it. Um, because somewhere in there will be something that works for you, because we all use things differently based on the space that we have. So try to present a lot so you can find something. So we're all working on getting organized, whether it's a drawer, whether it's a thing like all your stencils, all your, speaking of which, tomorrow is stencils, whether it's all your stamps, whatever it is. Go back and watch the first couple, and we'll have that every Tuesday. Thursdays is Mass Make Day. Very excited about that because that does 2 things. Well, wait a minute, let me back up. 2022 is the year of getting organized. Number 2, releasing our creativity, and that we're doing a lot on Mondays. And 3, Debbie, what's the third thing?
Use more paper so I can buy more paper.
I love that because we all love pretty paper. We all love pretty paper and we want more, but we have so much. We have to use it because we just can't keep adding more and more. So we want to use our stash so that we
Yes, we
can
can.
have room for, yeah. See, that's the thing is we keep buying more. And yeah, I'm running out of room. I don't know about you, but we need to use our stash so that we have room for more. So Thursday is Mass Makes, which does two things. It helps us use our stash and also helps us have a new stash of things that are ready to go usable in our projects. So this Thursday, we are doing a mass make of mini envelopes. Last Thursday, we did a mass make of decoupaging napkins on paper, book page, and music page. If you haven't done that yet, take some time this week and do that. You could go back and watch that one and do it along with the replay and be prepared for this Thursday. Then bring those pages, bring book pages, music pages, and your napkin decoupaged pages, and we're going to mass make mini envelopes because the following week we're going to then take the mini envelopes and we're going to mass make mini envelope clusters in two ways. So in 3 weeks, you should have a stash of napkin decoupaged papers because you won't use them all up, a stash of mini envelopes out of book pages, music pages, and decoupaged pages, and a stash of mini envelope clusters in two different ways. There's 6 things that you should now, at the end of 3 weeks, that you should have a stash of ready to go to use in your projects. So that's what we're doing this year, and jump on that with us, and because we're gonna keep going every single week with something like that. And when we can do them in a series like that series of 3 that ends up giving us 6 things ready to go, I just feel that that's super productive. So here's something I want to share with you today. You can't use up creativity. You just can't. Don't be afraid to use your creativity because you can't use it up. You it up. You can't use it up. You can't use it up either. The more you use, the more you have. Maya Angelou said that. And it is so true. If you think about yourself, do you recognize that when you get in a creative zone, the more creative you are, the more creative things you do, the more creative you feel, and the more ideas start flowing out of you. I think that is really true. I see that in other people and I see it in myself as well. So, number 2 is release creativity. So, we're going to do that this year, right? Right. Debbie, do you feel more creative?
I do.
Yay.
I think I'm stepping out of my straight lines a little bit.
I give Debbie a ton of credit for that. When you've done something a lot of years in a certain not a certain way, but a certain style, it's difficult sometimes to just suddenly turn, pivot to the left or the right and do something completely different, especially when it's almost opposite. So, all of you who are reaching out and trying to embrace and try something different that you've never tried before, I think that's awesome. And I am trying to do the same. So, some things we do, I will be doing it for the first time with you. Some things I will do before just so I can work out any kinks before we go live. Some things I've done before and I want to share with you. So, sometimes I bring one of you on because you've done it and you're the expert, and I can learn from you as we go. So, I'm really excited today. Can you just feel all the energy? I've got all this energy ready to come out, and I've got all these things today, and I don't even know which one to start with. So, today, okay, a lot of you have told me I have tons of napkins. I have tons of rice paper. What do I do with them? I don't want to just decoupage 1,000 napkins. Okay, 100 napkins. A lot of you have 100 napkins because at the sale we had a hot buy where we did 50 napkins and we did 100 napkins for a super cheap price because I had scads and scads of them. I still have a ton. If you don't have enough napkins, let me know. I will give you a hot buy right now on napkins. Not right now this minute, but right now like this week. Because I want to make some room for new things that are coming in. But yeah, so you've got a lot of napkins. I know you do, and I want to help you use them. I don't want them to just sit there and then end up being used at the picnic because you didn't know what to do with them. So let's move this over. I do like it that it keeps that glare off until we're ready to go here. So today we're going to, I've got at least a dozen ideas for you of different ways to use napkins other than just decoupaging them on paper, music pages, or book pages. We've had some more people come in, and I think there might be a couple of names I don't recognize. So super excited. Hi, April. I recognize April. Margaret. What time is the mass make? The mass make on Thursday is at 2 o'clock, 2 to 4 Mountain Standard Time. Everything is always done on Mountain Time. So whatever time I tell you, it's always Mountain Time and adjust yours accordingly. In fact, where are you, Margaret? And it might be the first time I have met you. Possibly, I think. Monday is always at noon. Tuesday's Tips in 10 is always at noon. And if you want to catch that live, it's only 10 minutes or less, so don't be late. But it's always there on the replay, so don't worry about that. And then Thursday, we go a little bit later, give a little change in schedule there for some people. So Thursday is always at 2 to 4 Mountain Time. And then Saturday Night Live is always at 6 p.m. And those are all Mountain Standard Time. So Margaret, hi Kathy, didn't see you come in. Awesome. Hey KK, how are you? Thursdays two Candy, sorry. Candy put in 1, but 2 to 4.
Yeah, I was starting wrong. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put the wrong
Yeah,
time zone.
nope.
So I deleted it and re-put it in there. So
Oh,
it's in there.
oh, it just didn't delete in StreamYard. I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's 1 o'clock Pacific time, so it's good somewhere. Hi Tabitha. Good to see you. Let's see here. So, Margaret, is this the first time I'm meeting you? I feel like it is. Second lives. It is your second one. So, okay. Then you have been here once, but in London. Okay. Oh, wow. What time is it in London? Yeah, we're so happy to have you all here, and I'm so excited. I'm going to get going, but I'm going to check back. I want to see what time it is in London. I watch several friends in the UK, and I know that they're always like opposite. Julie's in Australia, and it's like tomorrow there. It's way early tomorrow morning there, Tuesday morning. Okay, let's start with. Ooh, and I'm excited to show you the burn method. All right, I'm going to grab a piece of acetate because I want to try to keep the adhesive off of my mat so everything won't stick to it as we go along. So let me move this, and as soon as we get something down, we'll get rid of that glare. I did put the glass mat on top of this one so that we wouldn't have that stick problem. But maybe if I'm, you know what? If I'm going to use this acetate, I'm going to remove it because we're still going to get the glare on the acetate, aren't we? We are. Then I'm just going to leave it there. Either way, we're going to get the glare in order to have everything not totally glued down. If I get glue on the mat, then the next thing I put down is going to stick to it. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Julie's scared of the burn method. Hi, Sandy. Don't be scared of the burn method. Oh, and today, don't worry, I have not forgotten. Today we are drawing for a winner for a fabulous prize. And I'm say that seriously, a fabulous prize. For everyone who met last week's super easy challenge from last Monday's last Monday's Jumpstart. Okay, let's see here. Need a couple of things. All right, I think I'm doing pretty good with my arm. It feels really good. I hate to keep bringing it up, but I just seem a little awkward. Those of you who don't know, I just had surgery on my shoulder and my arm is strapped to my side. So I have a hand here, but it can't reach any farther. If I twist my body, I can get it out to here, but I can't reach out with it. So that's why sometimes I have to pull it down here and it's almost off camera or is off camera so I can hold it with one hand and do something with one hand. That's why. Okay, this is a canvas tag. Get it up here and you can see this is a canvas tag. Julie, are you saying that mine is dark for you to see? You said very dark. Is it very dark where you are right now, or is it dark? I'm going to mute Debbie for just a second there. Julie, is it dark? Is my thing dark for you to see? Is that what you're saying? Hi, Violet. Candy, does it seem really dark for you? Or is it because of this glass mat?
Fine. No, it's fine for me.
Okay.
I mean, she might need to check her settings on her screen because one screen is darker, but my second screen is fine.
And I always adjust the light on my screen as well. So, yeah. Julie, check the light settings. Check the light settings on your device. See which device you're using all the time. Tabitha, I sell napkins at our live sales on YouTube. We've had to take a few weeks off because of my surgery, but we'll be back end of February with regular live sales like every other weekend. And I have literally hundreds of napkins. So if you are interested in napkins, right now I will do them as a hot buy because I want to move them out and make space for a lot of new stuff that's coming for the spring. So if you'll shoot me a private message, I will give you a hot buy on napkins. And typically what I do is if it's like 100 napkins, there'll be like 2 of each kind. So if you have 2 different ways you can use 2 different napkins, so you get at least 50 different napkins, or I can do 100 different napkins. I literally have that many. So just shoot me a private message. Okay, good, Julie. Maybe as we go along, and maybe if I adjust this here, but we just have such a glare from that. Okay, so you can see that this is a canvas tag, right? Does that show that that's canvas? I'm going to unmute Julie. I'm sorry, Debbie. Debbie, when you do the vagabond, if you'll just hit your mute, that's the only thing that adds a big old grumble.
Okay.
Light settings on your device, Julie. You can often adjust. In fact, on your phone or your iPad, you can adjust your light to be brighter.
It's called your brightness.
Brightness, yes. Screen brightness or dimness, whatever it is. And if you're not sure about it, you could private message Candy. She can walk you through it. Okay, so you can see that this is canvas. It's just cut in a shape for a tag. Got a little eyelet. And on this one, I had the eyelet in it before I did the napkin because I had just made a bunch of tags. But I would typically do what I'm going to do on it and then put the eyelet in it. So this is a napkin. Took this pretty little birdie off the napkin. And then after I put the bird on here on the napkin, I went around the edge with a gold foil pen. I'm trying to get it to give it a chance to focus. I know that that's not focused, and you just need, anytime we have anything really shiny, like the gold foil around the edge, it really messes with the focus and it has a hard time focusing. So this is a pen that does this gold foil. And I left this so you could see. I just find this fascinating. It is like foil. You can see how it lifts up right there. It fascinates me that I can write it on it with a marker, and it comes out like foil that will actually lift up. I'll just put a little bit of glue down there, but I wanted to leave that to show you. Okay, so here's how we do it. So this is how it started out, just this canvas tag, and I ran a little bit of clear gesso. You might can see a little bit of that, a little bit of clear gesso on that first, and just let that dry. And that is so it will stick to the tag on the surface and all the adhesive won't just run right through. It doesn't so much on canvas as some of the other things, but it's always a good idea. And then that one's super light, so I thought I would do this one super dark. So this one is pretty with hummingbirds. So I'm going to go and find somewhere. That's a pretty one, but it's kind of hard to see him. Okay, I like that guy right there. Get a little bit of red flower on top, a little red flower on bottom, and the hummingbird kind of right there in the middle. So I'm not going to cut him out. I'm going to just cut a smaller piece to deal with. And some of the other things as we go along, you'll see and we'll talk about when you want to cut and when you want to tear. But this one, I want to cover the entire tag. And so because of that, I just want it to be larger than the tag itself. There we go. I don't know. Can you guys go ahead and mute yourself until you speak? And then just unmute anytime you want to speak. And that way any clinky sounds won't be. Sometimes they just ring in people's ears. Doesn't bother me, but I'm trying to be very cognizant. People tell me that sometimes those sounds ring in their ears. Okay, so any adhesive that dries clear will work. And so this is just a collage medium. Anything that dries clear, PVA, yeah, what you could use Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac is kind of thick for this. I don't prefer to use Fabri-Tac. You could use tacky glue. Literally anything that you have that dries clear will work for this. And where's that? It's there. Okay. The piece of acetate. I wanted to make sure I had that down. Having a little difficult time holding this. Trying to keep it out here in camera. And I'm not going to worry too much about the exact edges because I can always go to the edge and add a little more adhesive there. Now on this one, I covered the entire thing because it's small. There's others that I don't do the entire thing right at the beginning, and I'll show you why. And I want to see where my top is. I don't want him to be clear up at top. I also want to make sure that he's fully on the tag if I can. Okay. So then I'm just going to press it down a little, but I'm not going to worry about pressing him all the way down because then the glue just comes through onto my fingers and then the napkin starts sticking to me. So I'm going to just get the adhesive on top and make sure you have plenty of adhesive. If you don't, it will just start tearing. But a little bit, enough adhesive on here that you can actually spread it. And again, when you do different things, there's different techniques for spreading it. I've tried to pick some things where I could show you a couple of different ways. Okay, so that is completely covered. And now I just need to let that set aside to dry. So I will do that right now, and maybe before the end, we'll see if it's dry. And when it's dry, then we'll just turn it over so we can see from the back. We'll hold it from the back. We'll cut around the edge of the tag. And we'll have the tag that looks like this. And if we wanted to, we could go over it with a gold foil. And then I have a couple of little red ties there that we could use to put on the top because the eyelid is already in there. So I'm going to set this one aside. Sorry about the arm right in the middle. I want to see if I can. I'm going to hang them up here. I've got some clips up here where I can hang things up off my light bar, and they get more of the fan that's up above to help them dry. They dry quicker because they get air from both sides. So that will work on some of them. All right, so let's set that aside. Oh, and there's one more technique for all these scraps too that I might have one handy that we can do. Okay, so I'm going to mark these as we do them so I make sure we don't miss anything. Okay, second thing that I want to show you, we're going to go about halfway through, and then we're going to do our drawing. That'll give everybody a chance to get here that would be in the drawing, if they're able to come. Second thing is tea bags. Do any of you have tea bags? I have tea bags in two different ways. I have these large tea bags. They're quite large, be like for a huge pot. And then I have these individual tea bags. And I have a whole bunch of these, and I want to thank Ann Laver. She's the one that sent me a bunch of these. And they come in, I guess they were in a great big roll. And so they're all connected. You can tear off one tea bag at a time to use them. And so I have them just, folded, and what she sent me just folded and stored. So this technique, we put an image from Napkins right onto the tea bags. Let's see, anybody else? April, you could use a heat gun. On some things you can, and some things it doesn't work as well. For example, I would not be as inclined to use a heat gun on the tea bags because it might make them curl and shrink too much. On the canvas, yeah, you probably could on the canvas. I think that would work just fine. And that reminds me, if you have a question, if you'll please put 4 question marks and then type your question in caps, that helps me to catch those much easier. And I also, hi Sylvia, have the ability now to go ahead and grab those questions and star them, and it pulls them into a separate list for me. So if we're in the middle of something, I can come back and not have to go find those in chat. We'll be able to get to those questions easily. So some about it is unbleached ones to stain and collected from. Oh, nice. You're so welcome, April. Julie, you'll find them. Keep just organizing everything else, and they'll pop up. You'll find them. So here is a piece of a napkin. Actually, it's the hummingbird that we just did. The same one. Oh, wow. Didn't even realize that. Out of that napkin, torn and put on here. And you could fold this down. And you can do a couple of things. That's why I left it. You could put a, here, this will work, a ribbon or a string or a cord through here. And fold this down and bring this up like this. And then you could use that in a journal. You could take this, and these tea bags are strong because they're going to go in hot water, and cook. They're really strong. So you could take this and actually use it as a flip out or a tuck by itself, or you could put it on something else. So if you have large tags, which we're going to get to as well. Here's an example. Here's a large tag. You could use these as elements on a large tag. So I might fold that down and then put that on the corner and make that a tuck spot, a corner tuck on the tag itself. So lots of different ways to use the tea bag, but they're super cute embellishments, and you can take one napkin and split it up and use it in multiple ways all the way through your journal. And so it kind of ties it all together. So that's the large tea bag, and I'll show you how I did that one. And then the mini tea bags, these are the individual tea bags. These are just individual elements that are cut out or torn out and decoupaged on here. So this is a good example of when I cut and when I tear. So here, make sure I'm on the acetate. What I'm going to do here is just put down just a tiny bit of adhesive on these 4. And all I want is just enough to make the element stick to it. And so I have this napkin that has smiley faces on it, or emojis, whatever. I think most of them are smileys. So I'm going to put one on there. and one on there. And then I have this butterfly from another napkin. Notice this one is torn and the smileys were cut. I cut them because they were perfect circles and I wanted the line of delineation around them. And the butterfly, I don't want the line of delineation around. I was not cutting around the butterfly, but cutting in a, a general way. And when you cut, you're going to see the line. If you cut a napkin and decoupage it, you're going to see the line. If you tear and you decoupage it, then the edges will blend into whatever you're decoupaging into. So I tore the butterfly so that I could get more of a blend. And it's not the same color as the tea bag, but you'll see it's still a much better blend than if I cut it and had put it just where I want there. Yeah, it's a much better blend than if I cut it and had those hard lines. I don't want hard lines. And here, this came off of a napkin, and it's what is it? It's an initial. What do we call that? Debbie, Candy. When I can't remember words, they're my brain. A monogram. Thank you. It's a monogram of a letter D. So I want just enough down there to make it stick, but I don't worry about putting a ton down, or what I'm doing is ending up putting twice as much adhesive, and it takes it so much longer to dry. So just enough to make it stick, and then I'm going to put the adhesive on top. Now these are really small, so they don't make a ton of difference, but whenever you're decoupaging like this, if you'll put the adhesive in the center, and then from there work out, you will find that you get a much better coverage and much less movement of your napkin and much less wrinkles. These are super small, so there's not much there anyway, and that's an awful lot of, oops. Oh, I didn't get the, shoot, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was reading chat and looking at you, and I was like, "Oh, you messed that up." They're asking what your decoupage medium is. I know it's the Stamperio, but I didn't know the exact name.
I left that on to show you, to remember to tell you, and then I forgot it was there. To remember to tell you that it is much easier to cut out napkins if you're going to cut them. It's much easier to cut them with the layers on, and it's much easier to tear them with the layers off. So if I'm tearing, I take the top layer off for sure and tear that by itself because it's way thinner. And if I'm cutting, I cut the napkin before I ever separate it. Now there was nothing on the bottom of this one and then I didn't even pay attention to it because the others were already separated. See, you don't have to be perfect to do this stuff. You just have to jump in and do it. Let me show you this collage medium in just a second here. Let me just get this butterfly down. The other thing is, if you look at that butterfly, it's super light pink. And there are a couple other things today that you'll see this with as well. But I want you to notice that when you decoupage them, it intensifies the color. And thank you for watching chat, Candy, because we got a lot of things to show today in 2 hours. And I'm going to try to move quickly because I want to get them all done, because I didn't even do all the ones that I wanted to, but I made sure I had 12. But you notice when you decoupage it, it will intensify the color.
You're just a little blurry, and I don't know if it's me or if it's you.
Is it me moving too fast, or is it the...
It was fine, then all of a sudden it went blurry, so just you might need to refocus it real quick. And then
is that better? Okay.
It looks better now.
Better. Sometime, well, I'm going to turn this.
I think it's the glare part of it too.
Yeah. Okay, is the light still okay if I do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Looks fine for me. I mean, I haven't had a problem with the lighting. It's just the...
But I just got rid of one light and want to make sure that it's still okay.
Right. And before you start again, show the medium.
The medium. Okay.
I want to see the medium.
There are...
There's several you can use, ladies.
Yeah, you can use anything that dries clear. But anytime we have anything shiny, I'm just telling you this up front so that you won't be frustrated. Anytime there's anything shiny, the cameras have a hard time focusing. So whether it's acetate or whether it's the medium, when I put the medium on, it's shiny. So I bring it up. It has a hard time focusing. I will try to get an angle that it can focus at where it doesn't see that glare. That's why sometimes it's not straight on, because if I do straight on, it might be a little more glary. Okay, what I'm using is...
Now you're making up words again. Glary.
Glary. Is that not a word? Come on. This is Stamperia. Just a collage gel. Stamperia collage gel. And that is something that I do have. We'll have a mixed media sale coming up because we got tons of mixed media stuff. And I'm trying to get things that we'll be using in all of our... It also comes in this. I like this when I'm just doing small things, like sometimes these, I'll just put a dot in the center to stick it a little bit on top and then rub it out. But that one is a little bit larger quantity, and if I have that open, I can do all of these things today. Okay, so there are those, and I'll hang those up to dry.
They're asking if that dries matte or shiny.
It dries matte.
They have both, don't they?
It dries matte. In this particular collage gel, it's matte. This is the same stuff. And this is already dried. Turning it at all angles so you can see it's... I don't see any shine from any angle. It's not matte in like super flat, but it's not shiny. It's a very... How do you explain that? It dries as if it's not there.
It's satin. It's like a satin
finish. There you go.
Paint.
Like,
you have luster and you have satin. Yeah, it's like
if I look at this, I see the napkin, but I can't tell that there's any medium on top of the napkin.
Hi, Patty Cakes. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Patty. I was just thinking about you yesterday and thinking how we haven't seen you in a while. Sometimes when you look at something, you can tell that it has... a medium on it because of the shine or the grain that you can see. Even if it's matte, there's a grain. Hang on, I want to check my mic real quick and see which mic I'm on. Okay. But when I look at this, I really can't tell that there's any medium on it at all, except the fact that I can tell it's stuck to something. So I know there's a medium. But it's, it's more like a satin finish. Then it's definitely not a glossy or a shiny. Okay, so let me get this back open here. Okay, so for this one, I'm on the acetate. You can do this two ways. You can stick a piece of acetate down in between here to keep this from gluing closed, because it will glue closed because it's porous, obviously. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm not using it as a pocket, which you could, but it kind of tears too easy getting it in and out, if you're going to do that in a journal. So I'm going to use it more as a pocket on the side, or if I did this, I could put this down on three sides and make it a pocket that way, or, a corner tuck like we already talked about. So this one... Let's see. This one, I tore the edges. Now, they're obviously black, and so you can see the edges, but isn't it a much softer, nicer image than if you cut it and you have those harsh edges? So this one, I thought I'd put some of this lavender right here. And it's bigger than the thing, so I always want to get rid of the straight edge that's there, so I'll just tear that off. And you just kind of tear it as big as you want. So I'll usually tear it and then see how it fits, and if I want to tear a little bit more off of one side or the other, I'll do that. And I used to worry about tearing it perfectly straight, and then I realized, you know what, it looks cooler, it looks more artsy if it's not perfectly straight. This side ended up longer than that side, and that's okay. It gives it the character of being a piece of art, not just, anybody can cut a straight line, but only an artist can make a crooked line, right? Oh, funny. I know a lot of crafters don't think of themselves as artists, but you are. anybody who creates something is an artist. Doesn't have to be. I used to think of artist as like somebody who could oil paint or watercolor paint or draw or, that, because you see pictures, and so it's easy to think of that as an artist. Okay, so there we go, and that one's going to be a little bit bigger than that one. So all I want here is a little bit to hold it down in the center. Get it where I want it. If it goes over the edge, I can just cut a little off over the edge. Okay, and I'm not even going to worry about pushing the edge. Is it still, I know there's the glare from that light because of this, but is it bright? Is the light enough now that I turned that other one off, or do I need to grab I've got a side light I can grab if I need to. Candy?
I've got two different screens, Marianne, so I know one screen's a little darker than my other screen, but that has to do with the settings on that screen. It's got a big backlight to it. So, but you look fine. I can still see everything. So I'm
is the lighting?
Yeah, ladies, are you guys having trouble with it?
Yeah. How's your lighting? If it's not your screen and you've turned down your light, which I do, and so then I have to turn mine up again. But how's the lighting to you guys? Let me know, because I've got another light right here that I can it's on. I can just grab it and pull it closer to the desk.
And that's why I have two monitors, because one's set to be a brighter and one's set to be darker.
Totally get that. Okay, and I tend to get a lot of medium on there because it's much easier to spread and my napkin doesn't move and wrinkle. And so then I'll go back and pull a little bit of it off if I've got just way too much. But look how cute that is. The whole tea bag with that lavender. And I will wait until it dries to cut this little excess off the side. Hey, Diane, welcome. All right, I'm going to put this one up here to dry. And I'll set that one right there.
Tabitha says it looks good. Patty says you look a little dark to her, but
okay.
So, yeah.
So we've got 1 and 1.
Yeah.
How about the rest?
Julie says it's not too bad.
Debbie, how is it on your screen?
I'm sorry, my hands are freaking cold today.
Are they?
I don't know I can't get warm today. I think it's because everything I did yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit dark.
A little bit dark? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna grab this one that's right here and just pull it closer to the desk. I just use it as a general, but I can bring it in a little more specific. Okay. Does that help, Debbie? Is that close enough?
I didn't even notice a change.
Notice the change?
I didn't notice a change either.
Okay. All right. Okay, hang on. Okay, we'll see if that makes a change. I can see a change, but then, it's right in front of me, so. Okay, let me move these guys. All right, and that one. It's that big glare that bugs me right there. Okay, so we've got large and small tea bags. Okay, some of you saw these in the last couple of months on a project that I did, but some of you haven't, and I want to remind you that this is a fabulous way to use napkins. We just made the nesting boxes. You can cover your nesting boxes with napkins for sure. This is not a nesting box. It's just a regular box. It was an ugly Christmas box that I had for 20 years, really strong and sturdy, so I just kept it and kept using it. But I got really tired of looking at the ugly Christmas paper that was on it, so finally just painted it pink. And you can cover these with napkins, and when you put the medium over them, they become very, it almost feels like wood now, and it's not wood, it's chipboard, but it sounds like wood because it just becomes much stronger with the medium that you're putting underneath and on top. So don't hesitate to cover things like boxes. And another project that some of you saw, some of you may not have, is the nesting dolls. You can cover nesting dolls with napkins and rice paper. In fact, don't forget that anything that you do with rice paper, you can do with napkins and vice versa. So we don't even need to take all these out. It goes down to little teeny tiny, but Yeah, anything you do with rice paper, you can do with napkins. Anything you do with napkins, you can do with rice paper. Don't forget that. You could put napkins on glass. You could put it on ceramic. If you have something and you're like, well, that's a really cool shape and I really like that, but I really don't like what's on it or that there's nothing on it.
Julie asked if you sanded it first.
If I sanded which? The box or the nesting dolls?
She
Or,
put it in there when you ride the nesting dolls, so I'm not
okay,
sure.
no. Neither of those. Actually, it doesn't even matter because neither of them. I didn't sand either of them. Not at all. What I did paint them though. Um, I did paint them because the nesting dolls, of course, were painted in some kind of whatever they were. They were very old, and so they were all
Bright
scratched up
colors.
and yeah, bright
Real
colors and
bright colors.
scratched up.
Red and blue. And
Yep, they were. And so I painted them both. Actually, ended up painting them both with the same base, but altered a little bit. It was a pink with some cream in it to take the edge off it because I didn't want it really bright pink. And they both ended up still more pink than I wanted, but I didn't want to take time to add more cream and do it again.
Sylvia's
But
asking if you know if deli paper has a waxy side. Some of it does, but not all of it, right?
some of it does, but not all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on what kind you buy.
Yeah. And yeah, when I order it, I never know. You have to just kind of get it once you order some from, I guess, from one
But
place and
it's
you
not a
know.
heavy waxy side
No, it's not
like
like
wax paper.
wax
It's not. Yeah,
paper.
it's not like wax paper. So it's different. It's yeah. I've had
Yeah.
both.
Yes, I have as well. Another thing that works just like rice paper and deli paper is tissue paper. Again, I've covered boxes, or I have a couple little organizational things that were just way, way old, and the paper that was on them was just peeling off. And so I just peeled off what was coming off already, and then I just decoupaged a layer of book pages down on top of that, and then over that I decoupaged a really cool or pretty colored tissue paper that I got from the Dollar Tree that I really
Lynn
liked.
Lynn asked if you've ever glued napkins to plastic ornaments, and if so, did you sand a little first?
Yes, I have, and no, I rarely sand.
Sand. I don't either. It scratches it.
Honestly,
I'll put like collage medium down first and let it dry,
yes, I
and then put the napkin
rarely,
on.
rarely sand. If you're putting down, I almost always put something, if it's something large like that, I'm going to coat it with a collage medium and then put the napkin down and then coat it again. And I rarely sand, but if I feel like, well, one of the things that I'm going to show you the burn technique on, um, was a piece of wood. And so I put down a coat of gesso. So I just covered it in gesso, and partly because I didn't want the wood tone underneath it, the white the white made it more neutral. So then just the napkin showed up. So I put a coat of gesso, and then I put the napkin and then the collage medium on top. Just this collage gel is what I used. But yeah, I don't ever bother to sand. If I feel like it needs to be, what might need to be sanded, I'll just put some gesso. Now, like that canvas tag, I used a clear gesso. This is just an Art Basics clear gesso is what I used, and it doesn't even matter the brand. It's a Finnabar. Any clear gesso. If you like the color of the thing, but you feel like maybe it's too slick, put a coat of clear gesso. If you don't like the color, or it's not exactly what you want, just put a coat of gesso or primer down. In fact, what I used was this Stamperia primer, which is really just like gesso. I like this primer. Um, and that's what I used on the wood pieces that I'll show you. In fact, I used it on this one here. Here we go, like this. Okay, so this is a wood tag. The wood tag, you can see, has this little what do you call that? A routing around the outside edge. It's kind of a cool shape. It could be used like this or like this. It's just a thin wood. but I didn't want this color of wood underneath it. It was just a little bit bright. And if I take the edge off of that with a gesso, then it is funny. I put gesso underneath it. You'd think it might show up white, right? And it doesn't. I'm going to get that an angle to try to not get the glare. So I put a coat of gesso on it just like this, and then put the napkin down. I used the burn technique on this. Can you see the burned edges? It's cool. I can't wait to show you that. Let me do
that
this.
is cool. That's a cool technique. Scary, but it's a cool technique. Sarita says if you iron interfacing to the back of the napkin, you can use it as a pocket. It's kind of see-through. I never thought of doing that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a good. Oh, hi, Sada. Good to see you. I hadn't thought about that either. You could do that. You could use it as a napkin. I've used it as a napkin by ironing it
as
to
a pocket. As a pocket.
I'm sorry. Use it as a napkin. Oh goodness. Yeah. I've used it as a pocket, ironing it to book page or music page or paper, but never thought about just the napkin. So it kind of looks like it looks like it's a flimsy napkin because all you see is the napkin with the interfacing. Yeah. That's kind of a cool idea. Never thought about that. Thank you. Okay, so I had coated it already with a coat of gesso. I just put collage gel over the whole thing. Again, because it's fairly small, I did the whole thing. And then I want to lay this down. This is actually the mirror image of the other one that I did. I want to make sure I've covered the whole tag. I want the whole thing on there, but I don't want the bird to be too high. Where am I left to right? I guess I should look at that. Here we go. Okay, and then lay it down. I'm going to let it fall in the middle because I want the middle to touch first and then kind of fall to the outside. Does that make sense? I let it curve so the middle touched and then it kind of rolled to the outside. That helps to avoid getting a lot of those bubbles that you can get in the middle. Doesn't, absolutely prevent them, but it does help. And then I just put a bunch of medium in the center and brush out from there. If that's a wrinkle or a hair. It's near the edge, so it's worth picking it up. If it was in the center, I wouldn't even bother because it would probably just tear.
Yeah, and the camera does not like you right now.
Yeah, it's the high gloss collage medium that, sorry guys. I mean, I want to show you the techniques. We're just going to have to deal with the, camera can't focus on this shiny stuff. Let's see at an angle. Okay, so I'm going to leave all the outside edges on and let it dry like that. If this happens to dry by the time we're done, we'll do the burn technique on this because it works perfectly and it's small.
That is a beautiful napkin. They all like it.
It is cool, isn't it? I think that was one I bought from somebody else. I don't think I even have that one, but I don't remember. There's so many that I honestly can't remember all of them until I see them. All right.
I thought you had to do the burn technique while the glue was still a little wet.
I didn't, but you can. I have not. Have you done it while the glue's wet?
Well, I use a glue stick, so
it
worked fine. So it was still a little.
I don't usually do that, but hey, I'm open to trying it. Why not?
I think with the glue stick, you had to do it while it was still kind of tacky, because otherwise it would burn the napkin.
Well, let's try it. This one I didn't. I did it a couple days ago.
But you're using a medium, so that's different. I think.
I did it a couple days ago.
You're using a collage medium. It's got more water in it than a glue stick.
So, would the collage medium be flammable? I guess
they both probably are to a certain extent.
If the collage medium is flammable, then we just.
You got a tub of water nearby?
Yeah, I did bring. I typically do the burn medium over the sink.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way because it's quick. It's super quick.
I brought in a tub of water and had it in here. One of the dish tubs.
I typically just stand over the sink and do it. Boom, it's done. But because we're in here, I thought I'll bring a metal pan Worst case, I can just drop it on the metal pan. So this one, I did it one day, and then the next day I did the burn technique, and it worked perfectly. And yeah, so let's try it while it's a little wet. I haven't done that. The only hard thing about that is it's hard to hold because I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to
what I'm
stick,
saying. I use a glue stick, so it's different.
I don't want to
So
stick my fingers in the gooey.
yeah.
But um, but hey, what the heck? I'll try it.
No. I do it
You
tries if you did
know,
it. I'm just
no,
saying
I'll
with a
try
glue
it because
stick.
I've got
I
another thing to do to
I
try
think the
it.
one
Like,
I did, she said you needed to do it with a glue stick when it was a little wet. But I, like I said, I just saw it one time and tried it. That's it. I haven't done it since.
um, sprinkling mica powder pearl. Well, still. Oh yeah, that would be pretty. That would be pretty. Truest. Margie's getting the fire department on standby. Kyle has hoses out at the ready. I don't
you,
know.
you need to be like Iron Man, have that computer, that robot that sits there with the fire extinguisher.
Well, okay, yeah, really. This is super small amount of. It's a super small amount, and in worst case, I can drop it on here. It's not going to burn very long, but I really don't think that's going to happen. I do have another one that is completely dry that will do the burn, and it's a large one. This one is very small. We're going to try this one while it's still damp because I have never tried it while it's still damp. Yeah, the only awkward thing is trying to hold it.
I was gonna say you might want to wait till it dries. You already done it dry, so.
And see how quickly it goes out. It didn't even go all the way
Yeah, the
around.
napkins don't burn real. They burn
You
so
would think,
quickly that it doesn't
yeah,
make a big
you would
flame.
think that they go, like crazy, like wildfire, but it didn't even go all the way around before it burned out. There's a lot of napkin there. Um, Typically, you go around and you tear off, the bulk of the napkin, and you just leave a little bit around the edge because you want to get that nice.
Yeah, and
Um,
see with your collage medium, because you
okay.
kind of probably got it on the napkin a little bit,
Uh huh.
that's probably what didn't burn.
Um, okay, so I'm going to leave it now because what I did on this one is once I burned it, then you get these rough edges right up to the edge. And so then I take a sanding block like
Yeah, this is
this.
a great technique, ladies, to use when you're doing letters.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because
Yeah. This sanding block, I just took it along the edge. Actually, I just can go like this, and it takes like two swipes, and it pulls all the rough off of it. And I got this, and it looked really cool.
yeah, it does.
So
It looks really cool. I
it
used it
doesn't
on
take.
letters, and it
Oh,
works great
that's
on
cool.
that.
Great idea.
Yeah, because
Debbie,
trying to
have
get
you ever
around
done the?
letters.
Oh yeah, Debbie, have you ever done the burn technique before?
She
I've
fell
never.
asleep. She's ignored.
No.
I've never. I've never done it on letters.
Yeah, mine was letters. I did it on letters. I
Okay,
tried it on
this
that.
part is wet. That's hanging down there, and that's probably why it didn't burn. And so I just went back and burned that again
Yeah.
to just to get it in a little closer on this part that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back on this after it's dry with the sanding block and
Plus, it'll
just.
probably burn better when it's dry too, since you had it.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. When it was dry, it got up much closer.
Yeah.
Um, like this. This is pretty close. And then with the sanding block, a couple swipes, it took off all the rough stuff hanging out there and just gave me a nice edge. What?
Violet said, thank you for risking life and limb and hair to show us the new technique.
And hair. I didn't even think
Yeah,
about pulling my
eyebrows,
hair back out.
eyebrows, eyebrows.
Eyebrows. Yeah. I've got my glasses on. I've got my safety goggles. All right. Let me
I
find
know you didn't put safety goggles on.
That's because I have my glass.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie.
Candy. That's only because I already have my glasses on.
They're not safety glasses, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true, but
Uh, I'm guilty of the same thing.
I know. If we were really really doing something serious here, I would. But okay,
Julie said sprinkle pearly mica powder in it on
while
baking
it's
to set
wet,
it.
you could
Oh, while
sprinkle
it's wet. Oh, okay, yeah,
mica
okay.
powder on it, and then you'd get that shimmer of the mica powder
Yeah.
while it's wet. It would be on the napkin. That would be cool. Okay, since we have the tray out, let's do the big one. Recognize the napkin candy?
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta have a little fun here, and we gotta have a little risk, right? We gotta do something to make us laugh, because laughing is great for your health.
I just watch you.
As Margie often says, this is the Marianne shows us what not to do show.
Hey, that's the best way to learn sometimes.
It's true. Let somebody else screw it up. Okay, so this is just a plank of wood for a plaque. I gessoed both sides. I'm not sure why.
Julie says it's calling for fish. No, it's more of a galaxy pattern, Julie. I know it looks blue, but it's more of a galaxy pattern when you get close to it.
Yeah, it is blue. It's shades of blue and a little gold like flecks in, but it is a galaxy pattern. But you know what? I'll bet you could make that look very ocean-like if you put fish on it.
It's really pretty, Julie. Galaxy. It's a really, really pretty galaxy.
I thought it really is, and it's a very cool galaxy pattern. I thought that I might do a word or a phrase on here in gold. Not sure yet. I just knew that I loved this napkin.
Marianne's Comedy Hour.
Well, I'm okay with that. That's why I had you guys with me to kind of even out the...
Well, I'm just saying you put that in gold. That could be your sign.
Oh, you mean my sign? That would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
This one, I did it on the front, but I also, after I could pick it up then, I also put collage medium on the side and pulled it down the side because I wanted the napkin to be on the side.
That's pretty. Come out really nice.
Yeah. So I know that there's a couple spots, well, maybe only just one. Yeah, one, maybe two, where it's stuck to the bottom or to the back. And I'll have to go along here with the blade and kind of get that up because I didn't really want it on the back. Although it doesn't matter. I don't know why.
It's on the back.
I don't know why I just sewed the back. I'll probably just go through and paint the back blue or something just so it's just, not gesso when I'm done before hanging it. But okay, so.
Oh, paint pour on it. Paint pour.
On this little tiny, ooh.
Yeah, because that's kind of what the front looks like.
That is kind of what the front looks like.
You could do just a couple different colors of blue and do it. You don't have to do a full-on paint pour, but you know what I'm saying. You can just
small,
do
yeah, and dribble it this way so it can go.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll do it. Maybe we'll even do it on camera.
It's on the back. I mean, if you mess it up, you're just gonna hide it anyway.
That's true, unless it's better than the front.
Yeah.
We don't care front or back. Whatever looks best, right? Let's see. Wait a minute. Somebody's
Marianne, your sign is fire. Violet says hers is Leo.
Who said that?
Violet.
That's good, Julie. Violet, that's really good. Yeah, I'm a Leo. You're fire. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Okay. So, shall we burn it? So this one's completely dried. Okay. So I gessoed both sides. I collage mediumed.
Well, is Doug home? Wait a minute. Is Doug home?
No, he's at work.
Okay. Who's your next door neighbor? I need their number. They'll be closer to come over with a fire extinguisher.
Oh, that's funny. And it's bigger than the tray, isn't it? It's big. One end, but there's not a fire. There's not a smoke alarm in this room, so we're okay. We won't set off the neighborhood. Yeah, maybe I should have done something smaller, huh? Well, that other sign was this other one.
It's pretty. It's pretty though.
That other one was smaller, and I wanted to do this. Let's do it. Okay, so I gessoed both sides. I put collage medium down here. Put the napkin on, and okay, guys, the napkin was not this big. I had to piece
it.
Yeah, two napkins together.
You can see it in the middle where you pieced it. I can because I know the pattern.
You can because you know the pattern.
Yeah,
I pieced it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. And actually, I should have come back here and put another piece over. Actually, there are some really white, there's a 4, everywhere there was a fold, there's a really white spot.
Yeah.
And when I put it out here, that white spot just glared at me in pattern. It was like white, 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 white. There was 4 of them. It was really awful. So I tore pieces of napkin and put them here and there throughout to kind of follow the same type of pattern but cover the white spots. So just remember that you don't have to use a napkin as a whole. You can always take parts and pieces and turn it the way you want to get.
Because I had to angle mine to get the pattern.
Yeah, to get the part of the design that you want on your project. So, okay, ready? Ready to go?
All right. Stand by, ladies.
Stand by, hold your breath.
Fingers crossed. Toes crossed.
Really? See if I can turn it so you can watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
See, it doesn't even burn.
It's the fire bugging all of us that love this technique.
Yeah. It doesn't even burn all the way, and then it goes out.
No, I know. But it's, yeah.
But I know, but yeah. Okay. Let's see. That's just a little. I can get that one off, but it's just a little guy anyway. But let's get this big one started again over here.
Makes for less sanding.
It's true. You know, okay, so.
And I love that burned edge look.
I do too. And you'd come along here and you'd have to sand the whole thing, and it takes you forever. And because we're in here, I'm not over the sink. I'm just doing this little bit at a time. But if I'm over the sink, I'm going to light like 3 sides at one time, and they're all going to burn at the same time. And it's going to be done in like 30 seconds max.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it doesn't
Woo! I expect Lucy to come running in here.
There's a bunch of pyromaniacs in this room, is what Violet said. Earlier she said she was having fun and laughing her patootie off. I wish I could laugh my patootie off.
I know. For real. I hope you still are, Violet.
Does it smell? Not bad, because this napkin is so thin.
Yeah. I'm smelling a little bit of fire right now, but
not
actually
bad.
Doug's on his lunch hour. I should have told him to watch.
He really should leave you alone again.
Yeah, really.
I'm hearing an echo
now. Yeah, okay, that's done. Except the part that's glued to the bottom. Oh, did I miss some over here? That's kind of glued to the bottom. Let's see if we can get some of it at least. Yeah, most of that's glued to the bottom. Okay, so I've never done letters. Do you just do the edge of the letter? Do you have to put some clear gesso down so it knows where to stop? Or do you just...
No, it just, I glued it.
Oh.
I used a glue stick.
Okay.
Slapped it on there, and then, it had an E in there so you could get the center of the E.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just burn it.
That's cool. Okay, let's see how easy that was. And then...
Yeah, there's an echo now, Marianne. Something come on or something.
Uh-oh. Okay, give me just a second.
Did you bump something?
I don't know. Maybe I did. Let me check here.
Checking on my stuff.
I didn't hear an echo, but that doesn't mean that you guys don't.
It's just faint. It's real faint.
Is it gone?
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Just
is that better?
Shut up for a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then I just took this sanding block, and guys, if you have a Harbor Freight near you, I got a pack of 10 of these sanding blocks for $5. Cheapest place to get them. That's even cheaper than Dollar Tree if they're that price. I know Debbie's checked at her Dollar Tree, or I'm sorry, her Harbor Freight, and they were like 10 for $10 or 5 for $5, right? Something like that, Debbie.
Okay, Violet, you got to hear. Violet said her day started sad, but you've burned it away, and I'm happy. Paper people happy again.
Oh, yay! Yay, Violet! See, that's why we need to get together every day.
Because you have to use wood letters. Chipboard, I think the chipboard would burn.
Yes, I have something coming up chipboard. I did not burn the chipboard.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it would do the same.
No, mine were wood letters. I had wood.
This is wood.
Word.
If you you did wood letters. Yeah, this is wood. I did not do the burn technique on my chipboard. You'll see that coming up here. Okay, so then I'm trying to keep this over the tray so I don't end up with it all over my desk and floor. Some of this is stuck on the bottom. I'll just take a blade along that later. But what I want you to see is the edge, how clean the edge comes up. In like literally seconds, it was only a couple of swipes. So easy. Yeah, this is like one of the fastest. And if you don't like the burned edge or don't want the burned edge, you can buff it off with this. Super, super easy. Yeah, there's more burned on the bottom than or not burned, there's more glued to the bottom than I thought.
Margie, how much wood could a woodchuck burn if a woodchuck could burn wood?
Okay, and look at that. You got a nice clean sign. Which side is up, Candy? What's up, Candy? I don't know.
Whatever you want it to be up.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. Which one should that one? Darkest clouds on top.
It depends on your word that you put in there or whatever you put in there. Look, which one looks better when you get your whatever you're going to put on
Marianne's pyro people.
Happy pyro people.
Happy pyro people.
Happy paper pyros. There you go. Happy paper pyros.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why we have to get together every day, because somebody has, stuff happen every day, and then the rest of us can lift them up.
Julie said darker on the bottom, but I'm like, I think it's going to depend on what you put on it, whether you want the dark on the bottom or the dark on the top.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to play with that later. All right. So how's that for the burn technique? Let's see if we've got, nope, we don't even have any ash on our spatula there. All right. So now you know how to burn your edges. I'm going to have to try the letter because that sounds pretty darn cool. I have not done that one. So let me mark this. And if we're about halfway through, maybe we should do the drawing.
Now, are you going to have a list of these things so we can put them in the group?
Well, I don't know.
Send it to me? Send it to me?
Isn't everybody just taking their own notes?
Oh, come on. I'm not taking notes.
Oh, come on.
You need to send that to me and I'll make a list. And then I'll put that in my idea book.
All right, fine. Okay, so I keep forgetting to keep reminding you guys that every time you make something, if you go try any of these techniques, I've got 2 of each of these. And I purposely did that so I have one to show you ahead of time and one to do. But I didn't have to do that. I could have just done it. I did that so that I would have one that I can use and one is going in my idea book, my inspiration book. So every time you make something, make sure that you make 2. One goes in your inspiration book and one goes to whatever you're going to make, what you're making it for. And it doesn't even matter what, color or style or whatever. The idea is just that when you look at it, you're going to go, oh yeah, I could do that technique. Just to remind you.
And just a word to the wise ladies, especially from this forgetful lady. I always put some notes in there about how it was done.
Yeah.
Because I'll forget when I go back.
Some of them you can write right on them. And if it's, paper, you can write right on it. If not, just write it on a piece of paper and stick it to it, or paper clip it to it. Yeah. Or if it's a pocket, stick it in the pocket. Yeah.
Or what I tend to do is I make my memory book item out of notebook paper because it's thin. And then I make my notes right on it.
Okay. I was just going to say, Debbie's got a really great system set up for hers. Now you've got one too. It's different. I like that. Yeah. So you put your notes right on that paper.
Yeah,
Debbie,
because I have a ton of notebooks sitting around here that are never going to get used.
Yeah.
And that 3-hole paper, the 3-hole, I'll use that, and then it's thin so that I can get them in I'll get more in the book.
I love that idea.
And sometimes I'll put the paper one in there with the notes on it, and then I'll put a completed one with the pretty paper.
I love that. That's a great idea. I hope you guys are listening to that. And maybe at one point we'll have to, once you've got some things in there, we'll bring on you and Debbie with your idea books, your inspiration books, and show them how it actually...
No, so you guys can't see my handwriting. It's like atrocious.
Oh, come on. Come on. They're going to say that theirs is just as bad. So, Debbie, would you be willing to share with them the system you set up for your inspiration book. I love that one too. Is Debbie there?
I'm here. I've been on mute because I was running the Cricut.
Oh, that's okay. Ooh,
Um,
you're smart. She's getting stuff done.
Just a
I
second.
gotta get my Cricut in here. It's out in the other room, and I hate it out there. I don't have room in here.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to bring Debbie on so she can show you. There we go.
Okay, I haven't finished it yet because I'm going to put a pocket on here for the closure of the pocket. I'm going to put a tag. I'm sorry, a tag on here, kind of like this, so so that'll hold this closed. But in fact, here's my tag. I made. Let's see, what did I do? I did digital downloads and for the calendar month. And so what I'm going to do when we do our goodies, like here's the Zentangle and here's the stamps. I did a little mass make of my stamps and Glennis's tips for making a stamp. And then as we go for the month, what I'll do is I'll clip this month, and then on the back side, I'm going to write what we did this month.
Very cool. So
the
month of January, she can have a list on it of the things we did in January.
Yeah.
Following it is the samples with her notes on each one of those about how to do it, like Candy was saying. And then comes to the next one, and then there will be February. I hadn't even thought about doing what either of you are doing, and I think they're both fabulous ideas because it's much more organized.
Well, a lot of mine come from videos, so I'll write down what video I watched when I did it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's smart.
So I can go back and find it.
That is
Shabby
smart.
Dabby Dooba, 7 July 2020, the video.
Yeah. Julie, what did I just see? It just flipped on me.
4 years of doctor schooling is devoted to writing. Yeah, okay. I think mine's better than that. No, I don't have doctor's handwriting at all. But mine is a cross between, and it confuses people because it's like printing and cursive.
That's
together.
Funny, Candy. I do the same thing. Yeah.
Like my F's, I don't write a
cursive
printed F. I do a small cursive F.
Okay.
Yeah. So my son will look at it and go, "What is that?" I said, "F, dude."
I'll be writing cursive, and then my S's are printed.
Printed. Yeah.
Yeah. I do that. I do that too. I always have, and it's just a weird.
It's a pretty book, Debbie.
It's
a pretty book too.
It's a collection, a conglomeration of both printed and cursive. Yeah. Okay. Last week we did embossing powder. If you have embossing powder and you don't use it, haven't used it, need ideas of how to use it, go back and watch last Monday's Jumpstart because it was great. Lots of great ideas and suggestions from everybody. That's what I love about these. The input is invaluable, guys. Really love that. So the challenge last week was to make something with use your embossing powder. Emboss some things and then post a picture in the group of what you embossed after last Monday's Jumpstart. And everyone who did then and tagged Glynis McC in their post. She kept a list for me and all the names are in here. And one of them wins the prize today. And the box that I'm using, this is another box that I gessoed and was going to show you decoupaging the napkin on it, to use the burn technique, but we don't need to because we've already done it twice. But I don't know what I'll do with the inside or if I'll gesso the inside, but I just gessoed the whole thing because I didn't really like the color of the box on the outside. It was different, seemed different than the inside. So, yeah. And then I thought I'd just use that for the drawing. Okay, I've got the winner in my hand, but I want to show you what they're going to get. I have one right here that I use. I have others of these, but they have these holes. What?
Diane said her husband's handwriting is so bad he has to ask me what he wrote on the shopping list. Honey, can you remember what hunka jumbalumba means?
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a perfect
Yeah,
example
I
of
don't have to write it in code sometimes. I just have to use my handwriting. My husband can't read
that's hilarious.
it.
That's a perfect example of you know him better than he knows himself, right, Diane?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Julie, you could do the ideas on Rolodex cards. That's a good idea too. And you could
oh
alphabetize them that
yeah.
way. I mean, or whatever.
Yeah, or take the roll. Well, like Debbie's making the list on the back of her little month thing. You could, if you used a Rolodex, or you wrote the whole thing out on a Rolodex, you could slide them in the
Like
paperclip up under the.
recipes, like
Yeah,
journal recipe cards.
yeah, that is a really good idea. Okay, I
Yeah.
am not stalling. Candy was just reading your comments out loud. Um, I have a couple of these, and they have little holes in them, and I love these for sticking tools in. However, sometimes there's a large tool like this, and I like sticking these in here because I don't have to set it down and get sticky. I'll have multiples of these going at the same time depending on what mediums. I had one for primer, and I had one for clear gesso, and I had one for collage medium, all going at the same time. And I don't like to set them down because then I set paper on them and everything gets stuck together. So I like sticking them in here. So this one is a little bit different. They're kind of like teeth. They're silicone so that you can just stick your tools in there. And I like this one for the big tools. What? You got to read them out loud.
See, Sylvia said my issue is trying to remember what I need to remember. Yeah, we all have that problem. And Margie said her notes are taped up to the wall.
Yeah, yeah, those notes have to be visible.
Yeah. I tried the
So,
notes. I had to go to digital notes so I could sort them.
oh, I put things in digital notes and then I forget to look in the device. So that I
Uh,
can't do that anymore. That drives me crazy. I forget to look in the device at my nice neat list in there. So, okay. So, this is mine.
no, she didn't make those, Julie. She bought those.
Nope. Yeah, I did not make these. These are not made. Okay, so this the cool thing about this one too is you can use it like this, or you can use it like this,
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
you
cool.
can
I like that you go
stick things
vertical
in
on
from
that one.
both sides.
That one's pretty cool.
So you can stand it up on end, and you can stick things in from both sides. So totally up to you. So I have one. I got two, and I have one that I'm keeping, and I have one that I got to use as a prize. And so that is going to be today's prize. So if you are in the drawing from last week, then your name might be this one right here in my hand. Ooh, I think I saw her come in. Not sure. Kathy Lake. Is
Yeah, she
Kathy
was
Lake
here.
here?
She was here. She was here earlier.
Kathy!
Woo, congrats, Kathy.
Yay! Kathy Lake, are you here?
Congratulations, Kathy.
They are very handy.
Oh, Diane writes a note and then takes a photo of it. That's a good
Right.
idea, too.
Oh, that's smart. Kathy
There she
Lake,
is. She's there. She's
you
there.
are
She
the
said
winner.
yes. Woo.
Yay.
Way to go, Kathy.
Congratulations, Kathy. I'm going to stick this right
Oh, she meant
here.
candy. Yeah, that's mine. Send it my
Yeah, Candy was in the drawing too, but Kathy won this one. I'm going to stick that in there, then I won't forget, and I won't forget anyway, but then it won't fall out. I always remember who won. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you I won later.
Congratulations, Kathy. That's awesome. We're going to give away a lot more stuff this year. So when you attend the lives, and I try to make the challenges easy so that everybody can do them. Nothing really difficult. Um, let's see. We did that one. Oh, we didn't do that one. Okay. So let's see what's next. What do we have left? Oh, okay. Here's a fun one. They're all fun.
I'm not sure how you're gonna beat the pyro one.
I know. Should have saved that for last time because that kind of sort of is the best one. All right. This is just a little fabric bag. Little fabric bag like this. I did not make these because I picked them up super cheap somewhere. Normally I would. If you're handy with the sewing machine, you could make these super, super easy. I don't like the red on top. I don't like the orange drawstring. I'll probably change those out. But like I said, I picked them up cheaper than I could make them. So I bought them. And these are about 5.5 by 8. That's kind of a weird size. You can make them any size you want. I've got some little tiny ones that I didn't pull out because I thought these would be easier to see. But you could do little tiny ones and then get the little tiny images, tear them out like we were doing earlier for the little tea bags. So on this, really important because I want to still use it as a bag, I stuck a piece of acetate inside. If you don't, because most fabric, and this especially, look how porous it is. It's a very loose weave. So I stuck the acetate inside. If I don't, it's going to stick together. I'm just going to glue it right together. And then I gave it a coat of clear gesso. You may or may not, I think you can probably see some of that clear gesso. I made this one, I did a little larger spot than on this one. Yeah, you can still see a little clear gesso here. Okay, because I had not done it on a fabric like this before, most fabric I would use on something like this is usually a cotton that's not quite, it's a tighter weave. What I thought was super cool about this was when it dried, let me take that out here. When it dried and I felt inside, there is a coating on here that feels like almost like a piece of acetate. In fact, I kept going, I know I took the acetate out. Did I have two pieces of acetate and not realize it? Because that's really what it feels like. It's a nice plastic-like coating on the inside. Now, this one, when I did it, I put the acetate inside, and then when I was done, I pulled the acetate out. And when I pulled it out, there was a tiny layer of gesso on it. You can see the smear as I wiped it off. Because then I decided to take this bag and leave it open like this, and I clipped it up here to my bar and right below the fan, and so it could dry, and it dried a lot faster, and that way air could get inside and outside. This one does not have quite the same, it's not quite as thick of a layer of plastic-like inside, and so I realized that by leaving the acetate in there, I get that nice thick plasticky layer because it dries and it all sticks here. When I took the acetate out, it was clear. If I took the acetate out early, a little bit of the gesso came with it, and I didn't get quite that layer. So that tells me that we can make that either way we want. Okay, but because I've got that layer of clear gesso on there, I can now glue or collage right on top of it, decoupage, not collage, right on top of it, and not worry about it going through and gluing it together. So I'm going to put a little bit in the middle. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, just a tiny bit of an echo.
I'm not hearing it now.
Okay.
So.
Are you guys hearing anything? It's not bothering me because it's so slight, but if it's bothering anybody else, we can try to figure that out. So I this heart.
Julie says the birds are going berserk in her house. And
Outside
Margie
her house?
And Margie goes, do you mean birdzerk?
That was good. Berserk.
Good one, Margie. Good one.
That is cute. This is a little bit larger, and so I just put a little bit in the center. I tore this heart out of a napkin, and I left a little bit of the black and white stripe that was around it. I thought that would be kind of a cute frame. And when I put it down, I'm just going to kind of bend it. First, I want to line it up to know it's where I want it to be. But if I bend it and let the center go down first onto that medium that I already put there, then when it lays down really pretty smoothly. Instead of going from one side, to the other. The bigger the napkin is, the more that makes a difference. Putting the center first and letting it fall out instead of putting one edge down and then going to the other edge. The bigger the napkin is, the more that makes a difference.
Hello, Becky. Becky's here. Haven't seen you in
Hey,
a while.
Becky, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
Of course, you've had a lot going on with Belinda.
Yeah.
A lot going on with Belinda. How is she doing, by the way? I don't know if you can do a quick update. Just, is she home? Is she improving? Love to hear that. Okay, and then remember to have plenty of decoupage medium on here, because if you don't, then your napkin is going to stick to your brush and pull up. And every time it pulls up, it becomes harder and harder to get it down because you get wrinkles and then it's all stuck to itself. See how that edge stuck and pulled up? I knew it was going to because there was no medium over there yet. Okay, and so I put plenty down, and then I'll just run over it once and pick up any excess that's sitting there. I don't need, I know it won't hurt it, but it's just going to take it an extra day to dry because there's so much, and I don't need to waste it because, don't need to waste money.
Becky says she's improving a
Oh,
lot.
so glad to hear that. Keeping her in our prayers.
And she's
with
home.
you. Oh, good. Good.
And she's
good.
walking with a walker. That's
Ah,
good. That's awesome.
yay. So glad to hear that, Becky. So glad to hear that. Okay, so here's another good example of, I'm going to put the acetate in here just in case I went over the edges, not paying attention while we're talking.
Oh, you not pay attention? No.
Well, sometimes when we're talking, I pay more attention to you guys than to what I'm doing. Okay, this is a really good example of when you put when you put it down and you put a medium on top of it, it is going to accentuate and bring out the color. So you might have a napkin that is super, super light. I think we have an example of that coming up as well. And you think that is so light, you'll hardly even see it, but it's such a pretty napkin. When you put it down and you put medium over it, that medium is going to accentuate the color and bring the color right out. Okay, so don't ever hesitate to use even a light napkin. All right, so let's set that one aside, and I'm going to, I do say, I want to see if I have another clip. I do have another clip. I'm going to clip this one up here. That's a little awkward clipping with one hand because my left hand definitely can't reach up there. But I'm getting pretty good at that. One-handed clip. I am bumping the light around, I realize. Trying not to bump the camera. There we go. Okay. So, get that glare. Hi, Dawn. I don't even know if I saw Dawn earlier. Did I? Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I said hi to you at the beginning. Because I said I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so I've got that one. And we've got that one. Okay, so next, what are we going to do next? And how are we on time?
It's 2:35 my time.
Okay. All right. I've got 3 more packets here. So we should be right on time. And then there's one last one that I probably don't really even need to do. I can just tell you about. Okay, so this is a chipboard tag. It's a very large chipboard tag. And I don't want that gray board underneath my napkin because it, doesn't really make it very pretty, kind of dulls it out or makes it gray or look dirty. So I just ran a coat of gesso over that. And here's the done one, well, almost done one. I left it at 3/4 for a reason here. So this one, I ran a coat of gesso over this side, and I didn't even see on the napkin that there was a dark red strip down it until I put the napkin down. That was quite interesting. I did not do the fire technique on this one because I think it would burn the chipboard. I will only do that on wood. But when I after it's dry, I put the napkin over it and let it dry. Once it's dry, I come back and I just tear off the bulk of the napkin around. And I wanted to show you, even like on this one, I want to get that into the collage medium. You've got all this, rough stuff here, and that can be a real pain and take forever to clean up. And sometimes it's the after the little minutia things like that that keep us from doing stuff because that just takes more time than it does making the whole thing. But if we don't do it, then it doesn't look as pretty. So I just wanted to show you that after all I did was go around and tear off the main parts, and they tear, fairly close or half an inch or whatever. And then I just took this sanding block quite literally just did that. And there we go. And then I took this gold. This is a Deco Art, I believe. Where's the Deco Color? I thought it was Deco Art, Deco Color. Maybe it's just Deco Color. Deco Color, it's super shiny, so it's probably going to be blurry. Deco Color Premium. Um, it, they call it a paint pen, or what do they call it? I don't know. I'll find it. It's an oil-based, opaque, metallic paint marker. How's that for a name? Um, shake it up in there. But an oil-based, opaque Italian metallic paint marker. Okay, this is the one that comes out like gold foil. And so I just did a little bit along the edge, and I can do that later. But then, because I wanted a straight line, and I know how I am with straight lines, I got out this ruler, because I thought I will probably use this in my Japanese journal, and I liked the red and the gold. And this red napkin was a really nice background, so I can do something on this napkin, and that's just kind of a wallpaper, a background behind. Okay, so then I just came along here like this. So I will find this pen. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. Get affiliate link and put it in the description box if you come back. It should be in there. Um, the cool thing about this is it's gold. Shoot, I just did that side bigger than the other side. I didn't even look to see how wide my margin was over there. So now I have to go do the other one wider, and you know how that goes.
And we know we all do that.
Yeah, it's like I cut a little off of this one, and pretty soon I have nothing left.
Yep.
Yeah, so now I have to do the other one wider, and then the other one wider, and then no, I'll just do a little bit on this because it's quite a bit thinner, and that'll be that no matter how it looks.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. What is cool about this? I mean, it's a gold paint marker, but it comes out like foil.
I was
That's
gonna say
the
it looks
one.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the one at the beginning that I showed you. The foil was lifting up, and I left that so I could show you. It's like foil paint. It is so cool. It's as if I took actual foil and did that with foil. So there are a lot of like, I mean, that's to me that's like a trick of getting one looking like it's one technique and simply using a marker. And this does have a hole in it. So then all I do is take don't drop that on the floor, a something, anything, push it through there. Oh, scratch right down the front.
Don't you hate when you do that?
There we go. Okay, but now that hole looks funny to me, so now the hole needs some foil around it, right? So
No, because this is where I'd mess it up.
instead of trying to make a foil hole protector or whatever they call those things.
No, she hasn't sold those pens, Kathy. She's going to get us an affiliate link for
No,
them.
I'll get an affiliate link or see if I can. I don't even know who carries them, but I'll see if I could get them. If I can get them cheaper, absolutely I would. There we go. And now it's got a gold. Oh, that looks like the top of a kimono in her neck hole. Or her neck and that little, you know what I mean. Okay.
Her neck hole.
Her neck hole. No, her neck is up here, and then they have that little open loop right on the chest. The décolletage. Trivia question. Anybody know what the décolletage is? I learned from my friend years ago who was in Mary Kay what the décolletage is. Okay, so that one's a good background, and I thought this one would be nice to have it just be a whole picture. Some of the napkins come with an edge, a trim like that, and sometimes it's nice to, it depends on the napkin. Sometimes I like to leave it because it's like having a trim already on it. I don't have to add a trim to the napkin. I mean, to the tag afterwards. It's built-in trim. So let me see how that, oh, yeah, that's pretty good right there. Okay, so I'm going to give it a swipe right down the middle just to make the napkin stick.
Oh.
Now I got to swipe.
I'm getting robot voice, so I'm probably going to lose my connection.
Oh, what?
I said I got robot voice for a minute there from you.
Uh-oh.
Um,
That's
Sylvia, she wanted to know if we could write the foil black pens. She's gonna put the link down below this video.
Yeah. As soon as we're done, Sylvia, I will go to Amazon. I will find the pen, that marker, and I will get an affiliate link and I'll put it in the description box. So if you'll give me 10 minutes to do that and come back to this video in the description box, you'll be able to get the link and go straight there. It
And
is
that
very
brush
cool.
holder, that brush holder too.
Oh, the brush holder. Okay,
Yeah,
I can do
you
that.
put that those,
Yeah,
put
and
those
these
two down there.
silicone brushes that Candy turned me on to, oh, I love them.
Yeah, I love those.
Love, love, love them. The one I
What
have works
size?
great,
She wanted to know
except
what size the pen was. I don't know what size.
let's see.
Does it
I
say?
don't know. Does it say? Made in Japan.
Violet has to go and shovel snow. Have fun,
Have fun, Violet.
That's why I moved south. Woohoo!
It doesn't say what size it is. It's kind of fat. It's fatter than a standard pen. I can say that. Yeah, the silicone brush that I had, Candy, works the same, except it's larger, and so it's obviously meant for larger surfaces.
Yeah.
And so for most of the stuff that we do, this one is so much easier to use.
It's the perfect size.
Yes, it is.
It's the perfect size.
Not
Violet. Jeez, I can't even.
Kathy, or if
If
you were there Saturday.
Diane says she has, instead of the sand block, she has a dowel rod that she glued fine sandpaper to, and she uses that.
Oh.
So she can do the holes. So she can do the holes inside your tag there.
Oh, well, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, Diane. See, we always get ideas from each other. I love it. If you were there Saturday night, I went back and put in the description box a link to these silicone spatulas. I could probably grab that and put it in this one too. I got a set of 6 for, what was it, Debbie? It was like $4.49. It was under $5, so $5 with tax.
I think $4.49. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Set of 6 for under $5 with tax, and they're amazing. Thank you, Candy. I can't thank you enough for
glue. They're awesome because they don't mess up your brushes.
Yeah.
I think mine come today.
Oh, really?
I love them. Like I said, it takes just a little bit to get used to them. Not long. Just.
Yeah. No, there wasn't even a learning curve. They were so comfortable.
I have more trouble with them with gesso than glue.
Okay.
Because I use them for gesso too.
I do too. I love having the 6. I will probably get some more. That's why I use this big one right here, because one for this one I used on the plank, this great big one, but one for gesso, one for clear gesso, one for the collage medium. They were all going at the same time. Okay, now I just got to go set this somewhere to dry. And we got 2 more to get to right here. I can set this right up top here. I have things set all over to dry. Hanging here and there, set here and there. Okay, that's tilting a little too far. There we go. Okay, go sliding right off and stick to something. All right, what else have we got here? Oh, I love this one. I say that every time.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's so many ways to use napkins. This isn't even all of them. This is just some of them. Look, Julie, I thought of you when I made that one. Okay, so this one is making, this is kind of a two-in-one. This one is making charms and or faux stamps. And these charms can be used as just charms in your journal. They could be used on a larger tag, so a mini tag on a larger tag. But you can make faux stamps. A lot of times there's images that would make great stamps, like these seashells would. But this happens to be a napkin that has stamps. It's so pale. Can you see the stamp image around the butterflies and the key? So there's actually stamps on there. So I tore, I tore 3 of those out, and I tore them out because I didn't want to see hard edges, because I want the stamp edge to be the focal point of that. And so I would just glue them down just like we did everything else. Maybe that's not going to be enough paper for all three. We'll do two. I'll do the other one, grab another paper afterwards. Okay, a little bit more collage medium then. Start in the center and brush outward. Will help keep from getting all the wrinkles and bubbles. Now, you saw how pale, and I can pull that napkin up so you can see it again. I got that a little close to the edge because I didn't think I was going to have enough room. And I didn't, so I only did two, but still really close to the edge. Okay, so look on the original napkin how pale some of those things are. And notice when you decoupage it, look how much more vibrant the butterfly is, and it's not even dry. Same thing with the key. The bow on the key you can hardly see on the napkin. The bow on the key you can see very well once it's decoupaged. So it really does enhance the color. So I already did these two seashells to show you how I did this. So I'm going to cut these out because I'm going to have a nautical type journal coming up, and I thought these would be cute charms in the nautical journal. So, and all this is cardstock. This is just napkin on cardstock. And see how that corners up? I'll just put a tiny bit of glue right there. No big deal. And then all the good embossing techniques you learned last Monday come right into play. If they have curl, I would take them over to my Cricut heat press and press them out. Do that with the tea bags as well, but these are cardstock, so they will, you know, manipulate with my hands pretty well there. Okay. I'm going to set these two up here to dry so I don't set anything on them. I'm going to heat emboss these two. So all I need is a, where's that piece of acetate that's supposed to be on here? So I don't get goo all over. I had two pieces of acetate. Now neither of them's here. Here we go. All right. So first I'm just going to put, first I'm going to glue that little corner down. Okay. And then I'm going to put embossing ink all over the napkin. Probably could just take the napkin and wipe it on the top of the embossing ink, huh? Make sure I have plenty of good coverage there. And do the same on this one. They're small, hard to hold. And the corner of that one's up too. Only needs a tiny bit of glue and it'll stay down. It probably came up when I was rubbing it with the embossing pad. Okay, get that out of the way. And I have some embossing powder already in this tray. So I'm just gonna scoop it into it, let it fall all over it, so I know it's covered. Take the other one, do the same, scoop it into it, let it fall all over it so I know it's covered. Okay, move the tray out of the way so I don't end up blowing embossing powder everywhere. I'm going to pick these up with my reverse tweezers. And pardon the noise for just a second. Move that one out of the way. Doesn't take very long to emboss it, or I wouldn't do this on camera. This is a brand new one. I'm learning that I need to only have it on low, and I'm learning how far away to have it because it's extremely strong, powerful. But you can see it start to change color. It gets much darker. It's like it had a coat of dust on it when I had the powder on it. And you can see it as it starts to melt. As the powder starts to melt, you can see the color change. It's darker, and you can see the gloss start to happen. So it's easy to turn it at an angle and see anywhere that hasn't completely melted yet and just get those spots. Okay. Now, I probably have a little mark right there where I had the tweezer. So all I'm going to do is stick that little edge right where I had the tweezer in the embossing powder. If I do that quickly while it's still, while it's still warm, just melted, the embossing powder will stick right to it. And it already started melting because of the other embossing, hot embossing powder around it. There we go. So set that down. I will leave that one and do that afterward just because of time. Okay. So.
Got 5 minutes.
Yeah, and say there's our 5-minute warning. Okay. Okay, so there is the embossed. And even after it's embossed, this will flatten out because it's a small piece of paper. The heat makes it curl just a bit. And I'll just wait for it to cool, make sure I'm not going to stick my fingers in any sticky there, and then I'll flatten it out. So then I just took my crocodile and made the small hole and put a tiny sized, let's see, I can see that that's a little blurry, a tiny sized eyelet in each of those. That it doesn't like the embossing powder because it's so shiny, so it's a little hard. This one is a little tiny flower. I don't know if you can see that on the eyelet.
You can barely see it.
Which was
I can see the eyelet, but you can barely see that it's a flower.
That it's a flower.
Yeah.
I probably won't even focus that close, but yeah. So that was a kind of a nice little accent to that. I might use this one in my Japanese journal. Okay, and so you could emboss the back, you could color the back, you could journal on the back, you could write, you could stamp something on the back, whatever you want. So again, this could be attached. So up here, once I do whatever I'm going to do, I could then attach this. Say I put a red, where did it go? A red topper on this, maybe like this. With the kind of, I like this is kind of looped, but then it has the eyelash trim coming out of it. Maybe I put that up there, and then I could attach this to the bottom of that, and so it's like a mini tag on a tag. Makes an embellishment for the tag. So then I might choose to go in and go around the edge of this with that gold marker so that it matches. I didn't do that yet because I haven't decided how I'm going to use it. But if I do that, I might do that so that it has the same gold frame. And this one was on a napkin. The whole napkin has the honeycomb, and then just a couple spots it has the little bee right in the middle of it. So I cut the bee out by hand, and I knew I wouldn't do a super great job of cutting it perfectly. Actually, no, I didn't.
Diane's getting ready to go. She's leaving to go to work. See you next time, Diane.
Yes, Diane, definitely. I glued this one onto the
Hi, Tina.
cardstock first. Hey, Tina.
I mean, Amanda. I'm sorry, Amanda.
Oh, time out. Yeah, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. I glued this one onto the cardstock first, and then I took my 2.5-inch hole punch and I punched it out so that I could get a good circle. And that circle was a little bit larger than the circle that was on there for the bee. So then I took that gold foil pin and I made the edge, which was a gold rim. I just made it a little bit larger to fill in that space.
Suze is here too.
Hey, Suze, good to see you. Okay, so
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't talking to you.
And Julie, you can get gold eyelash trim. I have mine's more of a champagne color, but it's really pretty.
I do have some champagne. Okay, I've got one more in here. This is an easy one. And we've kind of sort of done it, but not quite the same. And I told you can put napkins on anything. And I like to put them on little wooden tags. I just gave it a quick coat of gesso. You could put it on wooden flowers.
Violet's back from shoveling snow.
Oh, yay, Violet.
She said, it's enough of that. Hubby needs to come home and fire up the snowblower.
No kidding. Why are you shoveling snow if you have a snowblower?
Yeah, no joke.
Okay, so here's a technique, though, that I wanted to show you, even though we've already used wood. These little birds were in this napkin, on this napkin. I know we've only got a couple minutes, so we're going to make this fast. These little birds are on this napkin, but they're awfully close together. But I can't really get two of them without doing it like this, but then they'd be all wonky on the napkin. I can't really get two of them on in a good way. So I I tore each one out. Well, then I just have the little tiny bird. So you can layer and you can collage your napkin to get what you need. It doesn't have to be the napkin just as it is. So I cut each bird out, and then I'm going to take parts of the napkin that are just, the fall look. And I'm going to play with this a little and say, where can I put this? I like the little trim on the bottom. That would be a nice trim on the bottom of the tag. And then if I put this bird right there, no, see, that won't work. What if I go over here? It has to look like this branch comes right out of that branch, and then it works just fine. Okay, then I look at that and I say, he's a kind of a little high on the tag. I'd like him a little lower. If I bring it down there, maybe I still get a little bit of that trim, just not as much, and that's okay. So I could do like that, and that would actually work perfectly for that one. Okay, and then I'll set that one aside. This one has different, so where could I place these guys? What, like some of the leaves, can I get some of them in? Can I get some of that trim on the bottom? Maybe I can have him coming out right there.
Margie said, just use a bigger tag, Marianne.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I'm with you, Margie. Just get a bigger tag.
Yeah, but what if I want small tags? Yeah.
She wants small tags and high birds.
Yeah. I'm just showing you that you can make it work however you want them, wherever you want them. You can make the napkins work for you. You don't have to be at the napkin's whim. That's all. Anyway, so there, that will work for him, and I will do that after we're done. Now, let me see if I've got the last thing I want to show you that wasn't really on the list, so this is kind of a bonus freebie. I did a couple of twofers, but don't have the one I wanted to show you, but this will have to work. So, all right, so we all collage. Sometimes we just get together and collage because it's a good way to use up scraps and, kill time and get together. I have this napkin. I got napkins on the brain. This is a big old desk calendar, and I think it's from 2016. And I'll leave it sitting on my desk when I'm working on stuff. And when I have little bits and pieces or offcuts and that's all that's left, I just slap it down. And that's why it's so random. And it usually doesn't have this much color in it. I just happened to be working with some gel prints lately, and so used all those little bits and pieces. But usually it's got lots of book pages and music pages and very neutral stuff, maybe even, maps and things. And so I love grabbing a bunch of all the leftover bits and pieces of the napkins after I've done stuff like that, like we did today, and then coming back in with these bits and pieces of napkin and collaging them onto a collage that has just a lot of neutral items on it. And if your napkins are all kind of in the same color tone, or you kind of do them, you know, maybe this color tone over here, and then you're moving over to brights over there or something, then what you're doing is really creating very purposeful tags. So this, I'll just go press this down with my Cricut heat press. And because, you know, it flattens it out in like 10 seconds flat. It'll be perfectly flat, ready to go for tags. Then I'll just chop it up into tag size. And so it's going to be very random. Some of the things I'll have to come back in and put something over it because I'll go, that is just a weird color right there. But when I come back in with the napkins and put those here and there and everywhere, I can do that with napkins that are kind of in the same color family and end up with a whole pile of tags that are all ready to use as bases that already have kind of a color theme. And then I can grab the next one. And this one I was using the same day. I did a whole lot with gel prints and using a lot of blue. This was really bright. But you just grab another one and do, you know, a whole nother color. And out of this one, then I'll get a whole nother pack of tags that are ready to go as bases. They're in another color scheme. That's a really great way to mass make.
And you could put sewing pattern paper over that. That would
Yes, over the top of it even. That's very cool. Yeah. I do like that. And that helps mute out some of the bright color.
Dark, yes.
Yeah. So guys, maybe you don't have paper this big because maybe you don't have a desktop calendar. How you do it is just lay down, take a folio out of a book where the 2 pages meet as one. Don't tear them apart. Open it up and you've got that. And then if it's not even very big, you take another one and lay it beside it. And as you're collaging on it, you just collage right over where the 2 meet. And pretty soon you have one great big large. You can do that. In fact, we might do that one day on a mass make and just have a whole row. It's like a gigantic snippet roll of collaged paper. And then when it dries, you cut it all up and you've got a whole, you can give yourself a whole shoebox full of tag bases already.
Lena's got to go. Her snow plow just came and blocked the driveway. She's got to go out and snow shovel that so it doesn't become a cold day tomorrow. She said she's leaving.
Sorry, Lynn.
She had fun and she learned a lot. We had fun too.
Thank
Lynn,
you.
Glad you could join us.
So glad you could join us. Hopefully we'll see you in Happy Paper People on Facebook. We are at 6 minutes after the hour anyway, so we're going to go ahead and go. But guys, today was so much fun. I really had a great time. You made my Monday. Always have a good time with you guys.
It's a great way to start the week.
Yes, it is. It always is. So thanks for being here. Thanks for jump-starting our Monday. Tomorrow at noon will be the Tuesday tips. And don't forget Thursday at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. All these things are set up as events too in the group. So you can always go to the events tab and see what's coming up. Subscribe, like, and check the alerts. If you hit the bell, make sure to hit the bell and check all, or you won't get all the notifications on YouTube. So click the bell and then go up and click all on there so you get the notifications for every time we do these lives. And we will see you tomorrow, and we'll see you in the Facebook group. Thanks for hanging with us.
Bye, ladies. And like Margie said, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Oh, it's so true, Margie. It is so true. Bye, guys.
Bye, ladies.